Steve, here with Rob again. Rob Greenwood, personal training director at Sparks, Nevada, Fitness for 10. Thanks for being with us, Rob.
Hey, thanks for having me, Steve.
I want to talk today about something that just absolutely fascinates me. And the reason it fascinates me is because what I used to do when I was your age and even younger is way different than what I do now. So I want to kind of hear what you eat before and after a workout and why. And then I'll talk about, and look, what I did when I was your age is probably going to be very similar, but now it's completely different. So you guys always hear me saying that our bodies change, and mine has changed, and the way I eat has completely changed from my early 20s until now in my early 60s. So let's just use you as an example first. You're 38 years old, and you're gonna you have a pre-meal, obviously, and you have a post-meal. So talk about what the contents of what those meals are. What are the macros, the protein, the carbs, the fats before and after? How soon before? How early? Or do you eat an hour before and half an hour after? So give us the details on that for you at your age to maximize your workout.
Okay, awesome. I like to start with the protein. We got to have protein in every single meal. It's probably the highest number in majority of people's diets. So we can't go a meal without having a little bit of protein. I use carbs for my energy source. I'm going to have a little more carbs before and after my workout because I like the glycogen spike. I like the muscles to be full, get a good pump. And for the growth factor, it's going to help a lot there too. I like to keep my fats very low to none. My metabolism's the highest it's going to be all day before and after my workout. It's going to let me use my carbs for energy and then work on burning through my body fat because I don't have any fat from my food in me.
So give us an idea. How many grams of protein would you eat before, and how far before your workout?
I'm going to say my number is probably at um 200 right now. If I'm eating 200 grams of protein a day, I'm going to chop it up into 4 meals. So I'm going to have about 50 grams of protein each meal. So 50 grams of protein before my workout and after my workout as well too, between the 2 to 4 meals.
And how early or how soon before your workout do you eat that?
I like to go 45 minutes to an hour and a half tops. I want to give the food time to digest and actually be able to hit my body so I could get the best energy out of it versus just eating it right away and have to work on it digesting while you're working out.
And how about carbohydrates before?
Carbohydrates, say if I was going to do the same thing, 200 on the day, I'm going to set up to have a little more before and after. So I'd probably do maybe 75 before, 75 after, and then two smaller meals for the first meal and last meal of the day.
And what type of food would you eat before a workout? How
I,
do you get your protein? I mean, is it eggs? Is it chicken? Is it a protein shake?
that could vary. I don't mind it anyway. Typically for me, I like more food sources better as far as white meat. I don't mind beef, but it's a little more fatty, so probably closer just to the white meat to keep it simple, or a protein shake if I had to. But I'm still more on the whole food.
All right, so your meals before and after are mostly protein and carbs, low on the fat.
Correct.
Interesting. And so for me, um, I'm almost twice the age of you. So mine is completely different. Again, I'm going to focus on protein sources before and after, but I can get away with this. I'm pretty lean for an older guy. Um, the skin calipers say I'm under 12, but let's say it's not quite right. I'm going to say I'm at least under 14%, but that still gives me a little bit of fat on my body. I'm maybe 13% or so if really did a scan and really figured it out. Um, and a lot of people think that their body fat's way lower than it really is. Do you find that, Rob, that people think, oh, I'm 15%? No, you're 22%, right?
Every day.
Yeah. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying not to say I'm 12 when I'm really 18. I know I'm not 18. Okay. I'm closer to 12 than I am closer to 18. So that just kind of gives you a little background. And I'm probably as lean as I was in my early 30s. Probably just as lean now, just a little more wrinkly. So what I will do before a workout, a lot of times I won't have a meal, but I'm going to get amino acids in me, and I'm going to get a lot of them in me. I mean, we're talking 15 to 20 grams of just amino acids. And I'm going to do that probably 30 minutes uh, before I work out. And I'm not, um, you know, I amino acids don't need to be digested. They just need to be put together. So I'm skipping a step by using the amino acids. And then I make sure I get a broad variety of essential amino acids and even some citrulline and arginine before my workout. And make sure I have all the essential amino acids with different formulas. I'll take 3 or 4 different amino acid formulas just to make sure I've got it all covered. So, what am I relying on as far as energy for my workout? Fat. And I didn't really eat any fat. With the amino acids, I'll take maybe a tablespoon of olive oil, but that's not really going to give me the energy um, for my workout. Now, if I would have done that when I was in my early 20s, I would have passed out. There's no way that's going to happen. I'm going to do some amino acids and go do an intense workout. I probably would have passed out. Now, my body is fine with that because my body is trained to burn fat and I have plenty of energy. And once I get going, you know, my body is using the fuel that it has to get me through that workout. Now, after my workout, I may do a protein shake, a couple scoops, and I might have a cup of blueberries, which is not a lot of carbs, but it's some and some fiber. And I'm spiking that protein shake with leucine, and I'm spiking it with a few other amino acids again. And I'm getting and I'll usually put 2 eggs in it. I do that. You guys can judge for yourself whether you think eggs in a blender are bad for you. I'm okay. It doesn't do anything to me. I know the eggs I'm using are very healthy, and Rocky did it. We saw the movie, right? So I'll put a couple eggs in it, a couple scoops of protein, and I got 75 grams of protein in about 550 calories in that meal. That's very balanced. It's mostly protein, but then it has some carbs and fat along with it. And that's what I'll usually do after my workout. And that works for me very well. Now, is that going to work for Rob? It's not, is it?
Hey, I could, I wouldn't be opposed to not trying it one day. That's good stuff, man. I would recommend that to the right people, though.
Right. And that's not your 25-year-old who needs the carbs. And I don't want to spike my glycogen, my glucose. I don't want to spike it. I'm trying to keep my body as stable as possible, where those spikes are really good if you're trying to put muscle on and so on, usually no matter what you're spiking. But I'm trying to maintain and look at my health from a whole different angle. And you know what, Rob? You probably know this. I started off as a personal trainer, and I gave a lot of bad advice because when I was a trainer, I was in my 20s, and the people I were training, most of them were over 60. Most of them. A lot of them were over 70. And I gave them good advice as far as their resistance training and their cardio because I matched their body. But where I gave them really bad advice, in my opinion, is on their diet. I had them doing and eating the way I was eating as a 25-year-old, a 27-year-old. And usually that's not going to work. There's some rare freaks out there that are 65 that can eat and their bodies still work like a 25-year-old does. Mine doesn't. But I had them eating like I was eating, every hour and a half, every 2 hours. And that was probably not good advice for my 65-year-old clients. So anyway, Rob, any last comments that you would add to pre-meal and or pre-workout and post-workout nutrition?
No, that was pretty much right on. I just want to keep it brief and short and hit on what you said again. Us new trainers, and when I first started, think about what we got to do for them and not what works best for us. I made a ton of mistakes there, and try to help everyone not make the same mistake I made there.
Yeah, that's huge because every single person is a unique individual, and you personal trainers out there, you cannot treat them all the same. You cannot give them all the exact same training program. They can go watch a video and get that. They need something specialized for them, and that also includes what they're putting in their mouth. Everyone's different, and a lot of personal trainers are not nutritionists. They're trained on this a lot, but sometimes we need to bring a nutritionist into the loop to get it dialed in for that particular person and what their age and goals are. So, Rob, if I know you do a lot of little tips and stuff on social media, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Yeah, it's Trained by Rob on all platforms.
All right, Rob, thanks for being with us, and we will see you next time.
Hey, thanks for having me.